Hello friends, good afternoon. The new practical today we are going to perform is temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor. I want to make one announcement about this practical. This practical is to be studied by the students of BSc second year as well as by the students of BSc third year. The only difference is that BSc third year students required to find resistance of the thermistor only, and BSc second year students are required to find the coefficient of resistance of the thermistor. Circuit diagram is same. The instruments required are also same. Observation table for both the experiments is also same. BSc second year students needed to plot the graph for two parts, and from the graph you need to find the value of alpha, temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor, using the formula given in your chart. BSc third year students did not require to draw the graphs, and there is no need to do the calculation for the alpha. Temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor. Let me first tell you what is meaning of this. Temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor. Meaning of this is that resistance of a material is never constant. It is more correct when we go to thermistor. Meaning of thermistor is the component or the device which changes its resistance continuously with respect to temperature, with respect to thermal energy provided to it or thermal energy extracted from it. That is, thermistor is a device which changes its resistance according to its temperature. That device is known as thermistor. There is a certain constant factor which decides with what rate the resistance of a thermistor is increasing if temperature is increased. With what rate the resistance of the thermistor decreases with decrease of temperature. That parameter is known as temperature coefficient of resistance. Meaning of temperature coefficient of resistance, there is a change in resistance with respect to temperature, and the parameter which tells us how the resistance is changing with respect to temperature, that parameter is known as temperature coefficient of resistance. There are various types of thermistors. P-type thermistors and N-type thermistors. P-type thermistors are known as PTC. N-type thermistors are known as NTC. Meaning of NTC, negative temperature coefficient of resistance. Meaning of NTC, negative temperature coefficient of resistance. PTC, meaning of PTC, positive temperature coefficient of resistance. positive temperature coefficient of resistors. Let us see what is the difference between NTC and PTC. Generally, all metals are of PTC types. Generally, all metals are of PTC types, meaning that if we increase temperature of a metal, its electrical resistance increases with increase of temperature. So, almost all metals are taken as PTC types of thermistors. On the other hand, if we go for semiconductors, in case of semiconductors, we find that if temperature of a semiconductor is increased, its electrical resistance decreases. If temperature of a semiconductor is decreased, its resistance increases, and therefore semiconductors are taken as NTC type of thermistors. All semiconductors are NTC type of thermistors, and all metals are PTC type of thermistors. Let me tell you, the thermistor which we are going to use here is NTC type of thermistor. One thing, its specification is it has 60 kilo ohm resistance at 23 degrees Celsius. This is in general about the thermistor and temperature coefficient of resistance. So, BSc third year student will find the resistance of a thermistor, and BSc second year students will evaluate the temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor. The circuit diagram needed for both these experiments is same. Only we are going to change the heading of the experiment. Temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor, this will be heading for BSc second year students, and determination of resistance of a thermistor. Determination of resistance of a thermistor, this will be heading for BSc third year students. The circuit diagram is shown here. BSc second year as well as BSc third year students are needed to use the same circuit diagram. So this is the circuit diagram. Let me explain the circuit diagram. This is power supply. Negative of power supply is connected here to the negative of this 12 volt voltmeter and to one terminal of the thermistor. Positive of this 15 volt voltmeter is connected to positive of the millimeter. Negative of the millimeter is connected to other terminal of the thermistor, and the same is connected to positive of 12 volt power supply. Here we are having a lamp. Voltage given to this lamp can be changed by this variac. This is a variac. Using this variac, voltage and current, actually voltage will remain constant because this plus minus supply is coming in parallel with the filament of this incandescent lamp. So voltage to the incandescent lamp will remain same, whereas when we variac this, This will vary the current going to the filament of the incandescent lamp. In practice here, we are going to change both voltage and current. In our case, in our experiment, here we are going to change the voltage as well as current. Both voltage and current given to the incandescent lamp will be changed. This incandescent lamp is having tungsten filament. As more and more current is allowed to flow through tungsten filament of this incandescent lamp, according to Joule's law of heating, more and more heat will be generated, and on the top of the envelope of the incandescent lamp, here we are placing the thermistor, and here a thermometer to measure the temperature of the thermistor, and here is the clamp for support of the thermometer. So this is a very simple circuit diagram to study temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor as well as to determine resistance of a thermistor. You are required to remember this circuit diagram. Although I have explained this circuit diagram and I told that this circuit diagram is very simple. Although it is simple, you need to remember this circuit diagram. In the examination, you will be asked to draw the correct circuit diagram with correct polarities of millimeter, voltmeters, and the supplies, and correct name of all the components in this circuit diagram. Okay, because correct drawing with correct polarities and correct names will give you proper marks for this circuit diagram, and therefore you need to remember this circuit diagram. After drawing this circuit diagram in the examination, the examiner will ask you to make the connections as you have shown in the circuit diagram. You have to make use of this circuit diagram, and using this circuit diagram you need to do the connections. The connections are already made here using this circuit diagram. Let me explain how the connections are made here. This is the kit I have constructed for the thermistor. The thermistor is here. Okay, here is the power supply. Here is the connections for as you see, this is the thermistor. Thermistor is connected here. This wire, these are for this wire, and this wire are used for the thermistor. These two wire, these are not used here, not needed. We have used separate wires. This is the voltmeter to measure the voltage we are providing from this power supply. Okay, and this is the millimeter to measure current passing through the filament of this incandescent lamp. These are the polarities: positive polarity, negative polarity of the power supply, negative polarity, positive polarity of the voltmeter, negative polarity, positive polarity of the millimeter. This is the variac. This is the variac. We are going to use this variac to vary the voltage given to the incandescent lamp. It will also vary the current flowing through the filament of this incandescent lamp. The voltage and current provided to this incandescent lamp will allow this lamp to glow, and after that heat will be produced. This heat will be increasing as current passing through the filament of the incandescent lamp is increasing. That will increase the temperature of this thermistor. This is the thermistor. You can see a black element here. This black element is nothing but the thermistor. Okay, and here this is the thermometer which will measure temperature of this thermistor. So you need to construct this type of circuit for study of temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor, as well as to evaluate or to determine the resistance of a thermistor. There are two parts. We are going to perform this experiment in two different parts. First part will be for heating, other part will be for cooling. In the heating part, what we do, we shall increase the voltage provided by the variac, voltage and current provided by the variac. That will increase the temperature. Okay, that will give current and voltage. Current and voltage provided by variac, okay, is to the incandescent lamp, right? After that, what we are going to do, we are going to measure the current and voltage of the thermistor. This column will provide us voltage across the thermistor. This column will provide us current flowing through the thermistor for different temperatures, and these temperatures are rising. It means that you are going to heat the thermistor. As you are going to heat the thermistor, okay, current flowing through the thermistor will be noted, voltage across the thermistor will be noted. Once you know current through the thermistor and voltage across the thermistor, you can find resistance of the thermistor at a particular temperature. What we do, we are going from 30 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature we consider will be 30 degrees Celsius. This is the ambient temperature. Ambient temperature is different in different seasons. In winter it will be smaller. If you do the same experiment in summer, it will be larger. Okay, and therefore for simplicity, what we do, for heating or for rising temperature, we shall always start from 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, we shall keep a step of 5 degrees Celsius. First reading will be 30 degrees Celsius, second 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65 and 70 degrees Celsius. For all these temperatures, we shall note the current and voltage, and using these currents and voltages we can find the resistance. After that, we shall do the same experiment for cooling. The heating is already done. The temperature will be much above 70 degrees Celsius. So we shall be waiting here for the temperature to come to 70 degrees Celsius, and at this value of temperature we shall note the current and voltage. Then we shall again wait for the next temperature to come, 65 degrees Celsius, then 60 degrees Celsius, then 55, 50, 45, 40, 35 and finally 30 degrees Celsius. The temperature will decrease continuously. We shall take reading of current and voltage of the thermistor for every 5 degrees Celsius decrease in temperature of the thermistor. So this observation table will be for heating or rising temperature. This observation table will be for cooling or falling temperature. One more thing which you have to note here is that as you change the voltage and current from the variac going to the incandescent lamp, there may be very fast rise in temperature of the thermistor, and therefore what we do, we shall slowly vary the voltage and current from the variac to the incandescent lamp, so that there will be slow increase in the temperature of the thermistor. And we can note correct values for current and voltages of the thermistor. We shall do the same thing for cooling when the temperature is falling. The circuit is connected, required power supplies are already made on. This power supply is made on, which is reading here voltage which is about 10 volt. Okay, at room temperature the current is about 0.5, and what is the temperature? Temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. We are not going to write the reading of 25 degrees Celsius, because as we have decided that the ambient temperature is different in different seasons, and therefore we shall decide the initial temperature as 30 degrees Celsius. To make this temperature 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, what we do, we shall increase this voltage and current very slowly, and we shall wait for the temperature to come at 30 degrees Celsius. It is rising slowly. Okay, we have to keep watch on the thermometer as well as on the voltmeter and current meter. The voltmeter reading will be probably constant at 10 volt. Okay, current reading is rising, temperature is also rising. It is reaching to 30, somewhat short to 30, and it is now 30 degrees Celsius. Current is 1 milliampere. Current is 1 milliampere. Voltage is 10 volt. Let the temperature rise and come to 35 degrees Celsius. It is nearing 35 degrees Celsius. Now, as you see, the temperature has reached to 35 degrees Celsius and the current has become 1 milliampere. For 30 degrees Celsius, the current was 0.5 milliampere. Voltage is remaining same. Now, the temperature is again rising. Let the temperature come to 40 degrees Celsius. When it reaches to 40 degrees Celsius, we shall note the current and voltage. It is rising slowly. Remember, always keep the rate of temperature rise very slow so that we can observe and read the corresponding observations very correctly. For that purpose, we need steady and slow rise of temperature. The temperature is reaching towards 40. Still it is not 40. As soon as it will become 40, we shall write the corresponding voltage and current. I think it has become 40. Yes, it has become 40. The current is still 1 milliampere. Now let it increase. It is now going beyond 40 degrees Celsius. Let it come to 35. It has become now 35 and the current is 1.25. Voltage is same. Current is 1.25 milliampere. Voltage is same. The temperature is still rising slowly towards 50 degree Celsius. It is still short to 50 degree Celsius. It is nearing 50 degree Celsius, and now it has become 50 degrees Celsius. The current has become 1.5 milliampere. As soon as the temperature has become 50 degrees Celsius, voltage is same 10 volt, current has become 1.5 milliampere. The temperature is rising still to higher values. We are waiting it to reach to 55 degrees Celsius. It is nearing 55 degrees Celsius. It is still short to 55 degrees Celsius. It is now very near to 55, and now it has become 55. The corresponding current is 1.75 milliampere. Voltage is same 10 volt. The temperature is still rising further beyond 55 degrees Celsius. It is reaching towards 60 degrees Celsius. It is still short of 60 degrees Celsius. It is increasing slowly. Let the rate keep slow so that we can correctly observe all the parameters, and the temperature has become 60 degree Celsius. The current is 2 milliampere. Voltage is same. Let the temperature rise further. The temperature is rising slowly and steadily towards 65 degrees Celsius. It has gone slightly beyond 60. It is continuously rising and marching towards 65 degrees Celsius. It is still short of 65 degrees Celsius. Let it reach to 65. It is 2 degrees short to 65. It is now 64. It is now very close to 65. Let it become 65. It is still not 65. Slightly smaller than 65. It has become 65 degrees Celsius and the current is 2.25 milliampere. The current is 2.25 milliampere. Voltage is same. And now we have to note the last temperature and corresponding current and voltage. As you see in the thermometer, the temperature is rising slowly. It is going towards 70 degrees Celsius. It is 3 degree short to 70 degree Celsius. Let it rise. It is rising slowly. Always keep very slow rate of rise of temperature, because you have 3 hours in your hand in the examination to complete this experiment, and therefore don't make haste, otherwise you will observe and note wrong values of the corresponding parameters. The temperature is still 2 degrees short to 70 degrees Celsius. It is rising very slowly and steadily. This is required so that we can capture correct observations and can note down in the observation table made for it. And as you see, it is about still 2 degrees short to 70. Now it is about 1.5 degrees short to 70. It is not still 70 degrees Celsius. Now it is 1 degree short to 70. It is very near to 70, and now it has become 70 degrees Celsius. Corresponding current is 3 milliampere and voltage is 10 volt. After taking the reading for rising, what we do, we shall first switch, or let me tell you first the readings that we have taken for rising temperature. As you see in the video, the temperature here is 30 degrees Celsius, corresponding current 5 milliampere, voltage throughout is constant, it is 10 volt. When temperature is risen from 30 to 35, current has become 1 milliampere. For 40 it is still 1 milliampere. For 45 degrees Celsius it is 1.25 milliampere. For 50 degrees Celsius it is 1.5 milliampere. For 55 degrees Celsius it is 1.75 milliampere. For 60 degrees Celsius it is 2 milliampere. For 65 degrees Celsius it is 2.25 milliampere, and for 70 degrees Celsius it is 3 milliampere. These are the readings for rising temperature. Now to find the resistance here, you have to divide this voltage by this current, this voltage by this current, this voltage by this current. Do the calculations here. Resistance in kilo ohm is equal to this voltage V divided by this current I. As milliampere is here, for this milliampere we have written here kilo ohm, because this milliampere will appear in the denominator, this voltage will appear in the numerator. Okay, and therefore V divided by I, that ratio will come in kilo ohm. So doing the calculations here, you will get the resistance in kilo ohm. Okay, this is first part. Second part, we have to go for fall in temperature. That is, what we have to do, we have to switch off the incandescent lamp. After switching off the incandescent lamp, what will happen? There will be cooling of the filament. There will be cooling of the incandescent lamp. As we have put the thermistor on the envelope of incandescent lamp, the envelope of the incandescent lamp will start cooling, that will start cooling off the thermistor and that will decrease, that will make the temperature to fall. Okay, and so we have to take the reading of falling of temperature: 70 degrees Celsius, 65 degrees Celsius, 60, 55, 50, 45, 40, 35, and final reading will be of 30 degrees Celsius. Corresponding current and voltages. Let me switch off the incandescent lamp. I am switching off the incandescent lamp. This is the table for falling of temperature. Temperature is falling, as you see, from 70 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius in the step of 5 degrees Celsius. We shall note corresponding current and corresponding voltage. The first reading will be same. The current will be 3 milliampere and voltage will be 10 volt. The temperature is at 70 degrees Celsius. Let it come to 65 degrees Celsius. It is coming down. It is nearing 65, not at 65, and now it has become 65. Corresponding current is the same thing. So repeat the same table in the reverse direction. What you have to do is repeat the table in the reverse direction. That's all. That will give you the readings for falling temperature. Just repeat the table in the reverse direction. The voltage is remaining constant. As cooling is continued, the current will go on decreasing in the same fashion. And so, to save time of this video demonstration, let me note down the table for rising in the reverse direction for the table for falling temperature. And what you find here, at 70 degrees Celsius the current is 3 milliampere. If you see the voltages are same. It can be even seen from the voltmeter. You can see here from the voltmeter it is 10 volt constant, not changing at all. But as temperature is falling, the current is continuously changing. At 65 it becomes 2.25 milliampere. At 60 it becomes 2 milliampere. At 55 degrees Celsius it becomes 1.75 milliampere. At 50 degrees Celsius it becomes 1.5 milliampere. At 45 degrees Celsius it becomes 1.25 milliampere. At 40 degrees Celsius it becomes 1 milliampere. At 35 degrees Celsius it becomes 1 milliampere. At 30 degrees Celsius it becomes 5 milliampere. And to find this resistance in kilo ohm, you have to divide this voltage by this current. As this current is in milliampere and it is coming in the denominator of our calculation, the resistance will automatically come in kilo ohm. Find these corresponding resistances. Okay, this way complete both the tables, the observation table for rising of temperature and the observation table for falling of temperature. We will get the same readings, only the way will be different. In rising, the current is also rising. In falling of temperature, the current is also falling with the temperature. Use these observation tables, actually the current and voltage in the first observation table, to find the resistances, corresponding resistances at various temperatures. Similarly, use second observation table to find the resistances at corresponding temperatures. After that, you have to plot two graphs. You have to plot first graph for rising of temperature. You have to take temperature on x-axis, resistance on y-axis. Take temperature on x-axis, resistance on y-axis, because the independent variable is temperature. As temperature is varied, current varied, voltage remain constant, that varied this resistance, and therefore resistance is dependent variable. So resistance in kilo ohm is taken on y-axis and the temperature in degree Celsius is taken on x-axis. The same thing we have to do for rising up temperature as well as falling up temperature. Whenever you plot the graph for rising up temperature, you have to take temperature on x-axis, resistance on y-axis, and when you plot the graph for falling up temperature, again you have to take the temperature on x-axis and the resistance on y-axis. As the thermistor under consideration in our experiment is of NTC type, it has negative temperature coefficient of resistance, meaning that as you raise the temperature, the resistance is decreasing continuously, which is shown by this graph. This graph gives the variation of resistance with the temperature. You will obtain same graph, you will obtain same nature of the graph for first part as well as for second part. After that, take slope of this graph. If you can select any two temperatures and corresponding resistances. You can select any two temperatures and corresponding resistances. Okay, that will give you R2 minus R1 divided by T2 minus T1. One point is selected here, this point corresponding to temperature T1, resistance R1. Second point selected here, this point corresponds to temperature T2, resistance R2. And if you find this slope will be R2 minus R1 divided by T2 minus T1. R2 minus R1 divided by T2 minus T1. This is the slope of first graph. You have to do the same thing for the second observation table. You will get same type of graph for second observation table and you have to find the slope of this, then take average of these two slopes. After that you can have average of these two slopes and use the formula alpha is equal to slope divided by R1. Alpha, the temperature coefficient of resistance of given thermistor, is equal to slope divided by R1, which will give us its unit will be just per degree Celsius. Unit of resistance will get cancelled, and what left? Dimensionless figure or simply numeral divided by temperature. And so unit of alpha, temperature coefficient of resistance of given thermistor, will be simply per degree Celsius. Only you have to do the calculation and get the correct value. This is to be done by BSc second year students. For BSc third year students, there is no need to go for the graph. There is no need to go for the calculation of alpha. You need to simply do calculation of the resistances in the rising of temperature. Here do the calculations. Similarly, do the calculations of falling of temperature. Don't go for average, because these resistances are found at different temperatures. Resistances are having different values at different temperatures, and therefore when you write the result, temperature, the resistance of the thermistor is, don't take average of this. Whenever you write the result, write result as the resistance of the given thermistor at temperature. You write at temperature is equal to this much kilo ohm. It will be different at 70, at 65, it will be different at 60, it will be different at 55, it will be different at 50. Only you have to write one of these readings either from rising or falling as result for resistance of the thermistor. So this is about the experiment. Temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor for BSc second year and determination of resistance of a thermistor for BSc third year. When this video will be uploaded and sent to your WhatsApp group, I will send two separate PDF for BSc second year and for BSc third year. This is about in brief demonstration of the experiment, determination of coefficient of resistance of temperature coefficient of resistance of a thermistor, as well as determination of resistance of a thermistor. Hope you got it. For any ambiguities or queries, you may interact with me. Thank you.